Yeah, the water is very slow to go down. Don't let this deceive you. This water gets deeper and deeper on this road. If you were watching yesterday, we're in the same spot and it looks virtually the same. It's still a lake out here. The water's only gone down about 6 inches since 24 hours ago. I've got my tape measure here. Let's measure. I'm standing on the roadway. It's about 18 inches deep here, and that is way too deep for your car to get through this mess, so don't even try to drive through it if you're not in a truck or a Jeep. New video from the Wink News drone of the area shot today. Even as much as Lee County dries out, these streets, they're still covered with water spilling over from the 10-mile canal. Now, I talked with one man who's helping his friend move furniture out of a flooded home.
When you live in Florida, you risk it. If they need a ride as I'm going out, I'll pick them up, bring them to the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I feel good about it.
And even though the water is still covering much of these roadways here, neighbors are making their way into this neighborhood to start this cleanup process, which could take weeks. Coming up on Wink News at 5, I'm going to take you inside one of those homes and show you just how bad the damage is and what they're dealing with out here. Live in Lee County, Channing Frampton, Wink News Now. And it's the 4th day of flooding here in southern Lee County. I'm Channing Frampton. Coming up after the break, I'm going to be answering more questions about what people living in this neighborhood are dealing with and when we could see that water possibly go down. Well, as you can expect, they're kind of on an adrenaline rush right now. They've been out here for 4 days dealing with this water. The water is slowly coming down right now. We talked to some people who are in their homes today. The water has come down just enough that they can start squeegeeing the water out. They've got the shop vac ready to clean the water out of their rooms, their different apartments. It's a mess. I mean, I talked to the people who have lived here since 1992. That's when Hurricane Andrew came through. And they said even since then, they've never seen the water this high. So that's what they're dealing with their homes. It's slowly coming down, but it's going to be a long road ahead before they can clean things up completely.
Hey, you mentioned those cleanup efforts. Are people staying in their homes? Have those homeowners had to go to the shelter?
Some people are staying here. The people who are just high enough to stay out of the floodwaters, they're staying here. They're hitching rides with people on Jeeps, on trucks, on SUVs. We've seen at least one swamp buggy coming through here. We've seen some jet skis, canoes, paddle boards, surfboards. People are using anything they can to get in and out of this neighborhood, because if you try to drive a car through here, well, take a look behind me. This is what happens. This car has been sitting here all day. It stalled out sometime in the last 24 hours. A truck came by here just a few minutes ago and tried to pull it out. It couldn't get it. So, and the people who are staying here, who were flooded out, they're staying with friends. They're staying with neighbors. They're staying with other communities. They do still have electricity here, which is interesting. You go into a house that is underwater and it still has electricity. You got to worry about getting shocked. But generally, people seem to be taking this event in stride and just kind of pushing on through. Yeah, Chris, they are still stranded and happening right now. There's kind of a recovery operation going on behind me. This car has been stuck here for at least the last 24 hours. When a woman tried driving in, she sucked that water up into her engine and it stalled, like we warned would happen if you tried to drive through this water, because it's 12 to 18 inches deep. It's slowly going down, and that's letting renters and homeowners get back into this neighborhood so they can start that long road to recovery.
I haven't broke down yet. I'm sure I will at some point.
Debbie Smith rents this home just off of Island Park Road. This road has been underwater for days, but she and her neighbors are starting the cleanup process that could take weeks.
People are coming back through and helping everybody as much as they can, so I don't know when we'll be out of here. I don't know when it's going to be dry.
She tells Wink News she had 3 or 4 inches of water in her home. Her son's room got it the worst. Now she's ready with the shop vac to suck up the water that's left. And even though it hasn't rained here in about 24 hours, there's still about 2 feet of water covering the road in this parking lot.
But yeah, it's just been crazy. It's the easiest word to use.
Fortunately, she and her neighbors are getting some help.
Wood stuff, everything that would get damaged by mold, we're just going to put it into a storage unit.
Alex Spencer has a truck that's high enough to get in and help.
If they need a ride as I'm going out, I'll pick them up, bring them to the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I feel good about it.
And those who were spared are thankful the water didn't get any higher.
It's devastating.
Now, as this recovery operation continues out here, we're also hearing from neighbors. Now is the time that they're starting to blame people for this water not going down. Coming up on Wink News at 6, hear what one neighbor has to say about that blame and what leaders in the area are doing in response. Live in Lee County, Channing Frampton, Wink News now. Just like you said, Chris, virtually unchanged. We're in the same spot where we were yesterday, and the water is still a lake here on the road. However, in just the last 30 minutes, a truck from Lee County just showed up here, and they're finally, after 4 days of flooding here, they're putting up signs that say the road is underwater. Don't drive through it, especially if you're in a car, because over my other shoulder, you can see a car that's been stranded here all day. Somebody tried to drive through this water, and this is what happens. You get these wakes. It's just too deep to drive your car through here. So the damage is definitely beginning to add up. Landscaping is taking a beating from all of the truck wakes that you just saw on the side of the road. Walls are getting damaged, and it's leading to many neighbors here to ask, how did this happen? Well, they believe the 10-mile canal that's overflowing right now is largely to blame here.
You would think they'd be keeping it dredged and deep. I just think that we have some issues with where our water runs off.
And now, I asked Lee County also, what is the holdup? Why is this water not going down? And they told me that with the canal being full and all the wetlands that you have around here that are either non-existent anymore or being saturated, there's just nowhere for the water to go. The concrete and asphalt, they don't soak up this water. So it's just going to be a waiting game as this water slowly recedes and heads on out to the Gulf of Mexico. Live in Lee County, Channing Frampton, Wink News Now.